-14.
Hey guys, what up? What up? Internet looks good. How are you guys doing today? We are exactly where we left off yesterday. Ended up not opening PoE 2 today, ironically. But we have a lot of grinding to do, and hopefully we have better luck than we did yesterday, because I don't know why the logbooks just refused to drop. Anyways, we're on the call with what the hell? We're on Discord with Arcane, who is playing Torchlight to his annoyance.
Feel like bad.
So yeah, I'm gonna continue trying to farm currency to take this character to the next level, and we'll see. Yesterday I opened a map, died in like the first 10 seconds. I was like, okay, cool. I think that's before you went to bed, because like those snakes. And you would think, oh, I'm immune to chaos. Surely it doesn't hurt, right? Fucking hurts. I have to assume they do physical damage, like 100% physical damage, no conversion, just that straight into poison. Because
that's
like
exactly what they do. Because
like I'm immune to the poison damage. If it was corrected to chaos, I'd be immune to that too. But it's just physical. So it's like the physical damage of the hit itself is what like tore me a new one pretty much. Let's just make sure this takes its time to load. What the fuck is this? Scarecrow beasts. Poorly designed. I mean, it has the areas that are less polished, that's for sure. But I only go so far as to say it's poorly designed in its entirety. Stop, French. How you doing? I'm looking forward to what they have to announce on Sunday. It's like,
yeah.
Fingers crossed. It's big changes. Like I want to hear about crafting. Like I really do. Crafting minions, but like surely they're not going to get into an interview with Gazi and not have any minion fixes, right? Surely.
It took him like 10 years to talk about minions last time. I get it though. He probably got a lot of criticism at the time for that first interview. Do you remember the one talking about where he like grilled them? But I don't know. The people that want to hear that appreciate it. He's a show Reddit, thanks.
I mean, he did. I remember there was an interview he did get a lot of flack for, where people said he sounded aggressive or didn't let them speak or yada yada. I think I remember that.
It's a personal relationship with these people. You have no idea how that works on the internet.
What was that?
Sounded aggressive. I said he has a personal relationship with these people. Like they didn't feel offended by it. They still showed up for like 2 more interviews since then. So like, what does that? This just doesn't matter.
Okay, let's hope they are still good at marketing, because that can be make or break really fast, and they still have the hacking thing to address. Yes, they do. I don't know if they're going to announce. Like, I don't think they're going to. I feel like surely they talk about it in the video, right? Surely, but because they said brief announcement, is like, I get the feeling like they're not going to talk about much in there. Like it's actually going to be brief.
Druid Huntress. I'm like, that's insane. That's insane, Cope. Wait, what'd you say? Brief announcement? It's a Q&A.
With Gazi, yes, but like they have a brief announcement on before the Q&A, before the interview rather.
What are they announcing?
Did you not see the posts? I mean,
I'm just trying to think of what it could be. They're not wiping.
This Sunday we'll release a short announcement video with details of upcoming patch 0.11 for Path of Exile 2 and issues we are addressing in it. Tune in to twitch.tv/Path of Exile to watch it live. Following the
So
patch
it's just an
announcement,
announcement video
game directors
of the
Jonathan and
changes.
Mark will join the Tavern Talk podcast with community streamers Gazi and DM to discuss the details of 0.1.1 and answer your burning questions. So they said a brief announcement. They said short announcement video. Typically, if it was actually like a, let's say, like some people are thinking, oh, this is format for maybe league starts or whatever, but it's like we don't know. Like I don't know how much content they would want to release, especially with people talking about PoE1. Because like they're not going to cut PoE1's league shorts. So like when PoE1 league finally comes in, we are locked in for at least 3 weeks. No PoE2 updates. Nothing. So like, and PoE1 is this February. So like,
So we're getting the announcement end of February.
No, it's end of January. They're targeting end of January for the announcement, which is why I said February. Or late, actually it was late January they said, but all the same. I just remember thinking, oh, so that means no PoE1 till February.
Such.
It's what it's. I mean, I care about PoE1. I love PoE1. I think I'll still have just as much fun. But I feel like when I go back to PoE1, the QOL that has been fixed in PoE2 will be very apparent. And like off the top of my head, I can't even think of too much in that regard, but like I'm sure they are.
Fees is gonna be rough.
Yo, that's true. The piano. Oh god. But I mean, it's going to feel good having actual movement speed as well.
Yeah, TLI feels good to have some movement speed in. I mean, I am rolling the Crew of the Forest build, so I don't know if I'll feel the same. I'll probably just feel like, oh, nice. It feels just like...
It feels like PoE1 without Mage Blood. Yippee! I honestly feel like you're going to get to like PoE1 without Mage Blood. Or Perma Flasks levels of movement. But if the person you're watching says you can give up your boots movement, then hopefully it feels better than that to the point where you can actually give it up.
I mean, he didn't just say. I mean, he just showed the movement speed stats, and if it's 90 plus without movement speed boots, I mean,
30 is still faster.
I mean, 120 is insane though. Like,
exactly.
Why would we be that greedy?
Why wouldn't you be that greedy? After this game has denied you movement speed.
I want to do Trial of Sekimas if I do that. Well, so I'm just going to have movement speed relics.
No, you won't. You have quantity relics and you know it.
You can have both.
So you know no resistance?
If you want to really start juicing the quantity relics for the
you
strats,
still want your resistance. Unless you have like an OP build that just clears without ever being touched.
My goal is to not be touched.
That means you have to off screen. You know, right?
Yes.
And single target you have to one shot. Okay, well, and keep in mind you have to be able to one shot them without even bosses, by the way.
Yes. I'm not excited about it.
Like that's a level of damage that would take such a massive amount of currency. Like I feel like this build can get there, ironically enough. But like I don't think I will invest in this build to that point. Where are the rares? I feel like I haven't seen many rares. Shield charge will rock your world, lol. You mean in PoE1? Because like PoE2 shield charge is...
Shield charging across a map. I'm just going to play a minor. Shield charge. Yeah, we're back, baby. Trickster.
You can't have ES at its best if you can't manage it on its worst, okay? Accept it at its lowest.
No, people start Trickster and they go for the movement speed roll. Like you can't have your movement speed reduced or something like a base value or whatever. I'll go straight for the evasion ES roll. With my 200 evasion chests. Because I just need to see that ES number be so juicy.
You're not gonna see anything be juicy 200 evasion.
You know what PoE2 has done for me for PoE1 though? I look forward to making like
your first build
starter.
Nice.
Just doing it.
It's
The
shredded your
Pathfinder
fear.
turned out alright.
That's good. Wait, friend, did you just send an empty message or can I just not see it? No, it's supposed. I feel like I saw your support. Huh? Wait, what? Why is he empty? It's genuinely empty. I don't know. I think that's my first time seeing a message sent that's empty.
Go on.
But yeah, I'm glad to have you in the build making world. Welcome, welcome. Oh my god, I'm out of tier 15s. I have like 3 more. I don't have the money to buy them. Speaking of money to buy them, let me just sell my greater jewelers real quick. Let's just get some money back.
I'm excited because I thought I'd found a fix to my blood mage build idea.
Then
There's a unique chest that lets you leech to overflow health.
okay.
Just sounded sick with the blood mage picking the puddle, picking the blood things, and
Okay.
so I was talking in Arrow's community about it. Because he was thinking of going back to Blood Mage 2. He league started it, but obviously it was too bad. And he said he messed with it, but it has a bug in the game right now that when it gets you to max leech of the overflow, it turns off all your auras.
What the fuck?
You have to go manually turn them on.
Is this with like blood magic specifically, or is it like?
No, it's just the unique is just bugged with the overflow. Basically, it does it, but for some reason it turns off all your auras after it does it. Like a weird bug.
Interesting.
So if they fix it, Blood Mage next.
Okay, let me see how much people are selling maps for. Because like, I used to sustain my maps, but like right now, God forbid. Corrupted T15 maps. Rare. Okay, 20 Exile, 20 maps. I thought it was 20 Exiles for one map. I'm like, God forbid. That's not happening. What if I wanted uncorrupted though? Where is it at? Maps not corrupted. People are selling white maps for 5 exalts. You. E15 all red, no corrupt, 2.5 exalts times 500. So 2.5 exalts. Let me get through my last 3 maps before I make any decision. Let me hold on to my money while I can. But I honestly see no reason why I would be struggling on maps. Here's a thought. How can I do this? So what I have in mind, if I'm going to be buying specific precursor tablets for what I needed to do, i.e. logbooks, there is no reason why I shouldn't take all these effect of precursor tablet nodes. Like, it just doesn't make sense to not have it. Let's go with this. And now I'm willing to spend more on the expedition ones. Oh, I haven't rolled them. Jesus. Okay. I don't know where we're going to. I think we'll do it for this guy because, like, Life on ES is fine with me. The fine map for me. I basically rolled a map that has 38% of damage as extra fire and 30% of damage as extra cold.
Yeah.
So, like,
Godspeed, buddy.
Good fucking luck to me when I run it. I'm probably going to run a corrupted map. But oh well, it is what it is.
Like max res is also just not that accessible.
I just run it and I close my eyes. When I run any mod that I think is particularly dangerous to my defenses, I just drop totems in front as I walk forward.
I already hated dying, but this made me like I hate dying.
It's
in this game.
Yeah, it's very punishing. Like, it's that, my guy, what is that? Dying in this game is very, very rough.
Oh, I'm getting swarmed up.
Wait, you can wait, can you upgrade maps? You can, right? You can 3-to-1 them.
Corrupted. Oh, 3-to-1, yeah, but I mean that doesn't go from 15 to 16, but yeah.
I know. Well, if it can allow me to sustain tier 15s, then shit, I mean I should just keep picking up maps, and eventually I'll just 3-to-1 them all.
Godspeed. Yeah, losing the full vendor window for the full bigger trade sucks.
Yeah, like, I don't know whose bright idea that was to not, like, okay, what, I still don't understand why there are different benches for those things, to be honest. Like, I still really don't understand it. Like, okay, why not just make everything vendor recipes and like have it written in a menu for the NPCs, or have a bench for vendor recipes and have an I button that shows like more like vendor recipes, instead of having 3 different benches that do 3 different things, and you're supposed to know exactly what you're doing, and some of them are reversible, some of them not, and it's like, am I bugging? Like, I think it's weird.
I can agree.
Like, I get vendor recipes are kind of, you know, awkward, but you can find a way to keep the functionality whilst making it more beginner friendly or more intuitive.
Just being able to only put 3 sucks.
No, it definitely does.
Like I would probably only do that in SSF environment. Truthfully.
I'm aware. Like, if I don't have to, I definitely don't want to. So, like, hearing 10K say that he did, it was 8,500, and like, couldn't be me.
One down. Who's next?
What the hell? You know what we need now? Is it? Do you know if there's any sources of instant recoup?
Misery?
I doubt there would be. Even if it was like just 5%, that would make me feel insanely more tanky. I miss, you know, something I miss? The wiki. I miss being able to open recoup and just seeing, oh, these are all the uniques related to the wiki, and it's or all the uniques related to like this one mechanic you just searched up. So now I know, like, okay, these are the uniques that I can potentially get with recoup in mind. So like, okay, so there's no unique, but maybe there's this or there's this, you know. But now you kind of have to just go manually digging through PoEDB. Paying 26 divine for mana flask is annoying. Oh, is it that unique one that instantly fills up your mana? Yeah, I can imagine. But I mean, it's a really strong one. Like, for my setup, that would be god tier. Just press my mana flask and boop, I'm like full health again. Shit, I will take it. Like in a situation like mine, when I have like 100% recoup, just being able to go back to full means I am probably immortal for the next 4 seconds or 6 seconds while I'm recouping what you did already, and I have more to like there's a pseudo, like there's a functional immortality in the calculations if you just click it once or twice, assuming you didn't do it when you're like 90% health, of course.
You there, local, come here.
Whatever ooh.
Nice.
We're beelining for that guy. If we can't pick him first try, then that one as well. Okay, so we're going to take this. That is penetrate fire res. Monsters hits can't be evaded. Hexproof. These two are fine. Take both of them. Then we have these three.
Undead wretch.
So I can't quite reach this one. Like here. Nice. We're able to get these 3-ish, was it? Holy. They're sawing exploding corpses. We're going to kill you from a different angle, okay?
In a day's work.
Not a chance.
Okay, Gwennon. Still haven't ended our dry streak. Saj. I have CI Mind Over Matter Eldritch setup, so it's really good for me. Yeah, like that's exactly my setup right now. And so you're immune to the downsides, which was I think you take chaos damage equal to the mana you spend, something like that. The upside is your mana, your life is. I mean, you might also. Are you using Everlasting Gaze or are you not using Everlasting Gaze? If not using Everlasting Gaze, then this is your life and you can just instantly fill it up. You're not, then you know you're in the same boat I am basically. Then what else is there? It also does damage based on mana you spend, or is it just your current mana, something like that? I'm assuming your mana stacking, and I'm assuming you're playing Spark, right? Because I'm mana stacking as well, just not Spark. I'm going Dark Effigy. Spark, Gemling, in stacker with Widow Hill. Yeah. So what modifiers did you go for on your quiver? I know prod speed is like, you know, number one. And then there's probably like levels. I think there are levels that can roll on quiver. I don't think I'll survive Sunday. Well, on the bright side, the patch shouldn't be coming out on Sunday, I don't think. So at least you have some extra time. These prowling shades, y'all just have no respect. Just like that, dead. It was a stun into a stutter into dead. Like the moment I saw that mob spawn, I knew I was, and my game crashed. Okay. 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 I don't know what else to say after that. There was this, like, I got stunned into like literal game stutter and then dead. Then I respawn and then the game just closes. Can do anything and everything except bosses with flask. I can do bosses probably. Are you relying on this flask for damage or is it for that insane mana sustain? Park, you have to spam more. Yeah. The mana gets very low that you get easily one shot. How much mana do you have? Quick question. $6.5k. Oh, that's a lot. I like how I was saying. I barely have maps to run, and I just threw one away basically. But to be fair, those mods were already kind of whatever, so it is what it is. I hit 8k with those easily. Okay. So what are your biggest sources of mana? I assume you're using rare everything. Is there any, are you using any uniques aside your like flasks? Widow Hill. Yeah. That's pretty much what I'm doing. But I don't think I have intelligence quite on everything. I have this as a unique right now for defenses, and this as a unique for an extra totem. Those are basically my uniques. But to be fair, the helmet is a big unique slot as well. Or it's a big mana slot that I'm not currently using. But I don't think I get to drop it until like high budget if I so choose to. But that's like very high budget as well. So you're not using any damage recoup, right? If you have a Gemling, that's what this guy is. He's a Gemling. Dead switch. Nah, I'm actually enjoying this build. You bought the body yesterday. So your body armor. So wait, what is the body armor? You said the name is Moria? Is he one of those what's his name? Grand Regalia. Oh. Let me see. Let's look at the body armor. Maybe it's something I can consider using. Grand Regalia. This is the only Moria that comes up. Moria Invictus. So this says increase if armor evasion ES, which is local. Has 2 random socket modifiers, has 4 rune sockets. Who 4 2% mana runes. So what modifiers did you get? Does PoE2 wiki have the modifiers for it, or do I have to go hunting? Rarity, max mana per socket. Okay, so it's max mana per socketed rune you currently have, and you have max mana per socketed rune as well as global defense does nothing. And it says 2. Okay, attributes. So mana and attributes. Oh. So if you have 4 of them, that'd be 20% increased mana, 20% increased attributes. Oh. That is really good. And then you said you use the mana soul cores. So you got 8% from those. And then on top of the 20% from the chest itself. I guess I could do that as well if I wasn't going for a spirit on my chest, which I don't have to. Without it, back to 4.5k. It's a good chess piece, that's for sure. It's from... Is that one of those ones from the Pinnacle boss? Or is it from Trial Master? It's not corrupted, so I assume it's from... $2k mana. Yeah. You see, like here are the things I'm trying to balance out on this build right now. What the frick is that? So there are a few things I'm trying to balance out in this build that make it not the best for like traditional mana stackers. Or so the first one is I'm trying to get as much spirit as possible. So just that alone means I can't replace this, because this helmet essentially reads for me 70% cold res and +1 to maximum totem. So I'm trying to get spirit, which means if I get spirit on my chest piece, and wait, I just realized something though. This also has this modifier. So if I really want, I guess I could go 50 spirits and choose either 5% mana or 5% attributes. And I think mana is a much harder stat to find. Well, not really. But 20% increased attributes takes me from, like, let's say 300 to 360. So that'll be 60 int at 300. 60 int would be what, 240? 240 mana. Spirit is expensive. 15 each. Oh, you mean like spirit runes only go for martial weapons, if I remember correctly. I can't use it on an armor, so I can't really. So like I'm not too bothered about the runes themselves, because I can't get 15. I can't get spirit on the soul cause, but I can have this as a modifier. I can't have it on my wand because the wand isn't a martial weapon, sadly. So I can't have a socket on my wand. Same thing for my scepter. They don't count as martial weapons. Okay, so basically, let's do a brief explanation of what I need to stack. Spirit means more totems, which is an insane amount of like a damage multiplier, right? So of course that means we have to go with scepter because spirit. And then this is also giving me spirit. Now if I replace this, the main thing this is giving me spirit and ES, but because of EB of course. But if I were to switch this, I guess it has this increased ES, so like I would still end up with maybe 150 ES, but like that's nothing compared to 600, right? Nothing compared to 600. So I'd have less flat ES, like 400 less flat mana, or 400, yes, less flat basically. But I would have 20% increased max mana. Now I don't know how much increased max mana I have. I have nothing from my amulet, but I have 3% from here. I think that's the only source of increase I currently have for mana, because I don't have, oh, I have 5% as well, so that's 8% increased. So where is my calculator? Let me just do some quick maths. We're currently at 3880 mana. divided by 1.08, I believe. So this is how much raw mana I have, I think, right now. So if I were to lose, say, 400 of that, I'd be at this. But then I'd be able to multiply this by 1.28. Because I still have 8% here, and then there'll be 20% from the chess piece. Puts me at about 4k. So I'd gain like 150 from that alone. Now, conversely, if I go 3192 and I go attributes, I currently have 299 intelligence, right? Minus 299 minus 25 is basically 274. It's basically 274. 274, because that has no flat intelligence. I have to multiply it by 0.20. Two divines. Thank you. All right, we've gotten divines back. Thank God. It felt so weird having having divines. Anyways, back to the calculation at hand. 274, right? Now 274 times 1.2. Because it's 20% increase attributes, right? Yes. $328 minus 274 times 4. I get to 19 more mana. Good boots got listed for 30 exalts. Gonna wait a bit before I message. All right. I will try to manually remind you. I don't think I have a remind me command. Or better still, ads are going on now. If you're going to see that when they end, you can probably message the person. It's 3 minutes. Well, 2:30 left. So then I'd gain 200 mana from the int I get, but like every subsequent source of like int and whatnot will be more effective than the last. Now if I were to combine these two, I'd have a lot more int, but then I'd be sacrificing a turret for it. I have a lot more mana rather. Okay. Let me think about this objectively. If I use that, I don't have the extra turrets regardless, so like it doesn't matter to me much, at least. Speaking of, it doesn't matter much to me. Do I have clarity? Yes, I do. Okay, cool. If I were to drop this entirely, I'm not phased right now. Buy one, try, didn't work, resell. So here's the thing about that. I would, but and let me think about the excuse really well. Oh no. Maybe keep researching. They could just be hopping characters or something. So if I get spirit from here and I lose the spirit from here, I would be stuck at 3. However, I can have a lot more mana for what will be, in theory, losing no defenses. Right now, at least. I'd be losing no defenses, really. I'd just be gaining mana. If I go like the attributes and I go the mana one. Mana soul cores are going for how much? That's something I also want to check. So that's Zalato, and they're going for 28x, but they are 2% increased mana. Okay, that's not bad. The one problem I see myself having is trying to replace the lightning res. I have no idea how I would proceed to replace the lightning res, because this already gives me 32 or a better belt. I mean, I spent a divine on this already. The idea of the belt is to help me with burst damage, because, well, burst damage tends to be a problem for me right now. If I get an actual, like, an actual belt, because this is what I had before, which is decent. If I get an actual belt and my mana goes up to 6k, okay, question. Okay, now I have a question for you. Do you have any issues with consistent damage in the form of, like, you get slapped, so you get stunned, and then you take another big hit afterwards? Because I find in most situations those are the you don't see monsters. You see, that is the problem, because I see monsters, and I don't think I can get to the point where I would not see monsters. Like, that is the difference between both of us here. I have to see the monsters to use this. Wait, that reminds me. Oh, trust me, recoup is not 4 seconds in this game. Recoup is 8 seconds, but I'm able to reduce it to 6 seconds with this. Well, by default, it's 8 seconds. Let me see if I can show it here. Over 8 seconds. So basically, the idea is, so this is the concept, or what my idea was going for recoup. I'll be I'll put in my next if I died. Okay, so here's the thing. I already have decent mana recovery, 391. If I have more mana, I would have more mana recovery. But, like, let's say right now it's roughly 10%, slightly more than 10%. That means if I was on 5k, 6k mana, this would be on 600, yada yada. But by having recoup, if I were to get chunked for like 1500 mana in one hit or something, I have 100% damage taking recouped as mana. So that's 1500 damage I just took would then be returned to me as mana over 6. You need mana on kill. I cannot use mana on kill. That is the problem. I can't get mana on kill because totem kills don't count for me unless I want to go Gravebind. So I really can't get mana on kill. I want to pull wild shards on this guy. Go Spark. Lol. Nah, Spark isn't. I don't think Spark is my playstyle really. Like, basically, the reason I am a Gemling is not because I want to play Mana Stacker, it is because
So did you go AFK?
No, I just muted myself. Didn't know if I was stopping you or anything.
No, I was chilling.
Why? So yeah.
Cope.
So yeah, the reason I wish you could compare our gameplay to different game. Oh, I don't even doubt it. Like, I'm sure. Spark is insane. Spark is not surviving the nerfs. And ironically, by virtue of Spark getting nerfed, I will also get nerfed. Because you're going to touch Archmage most likely. You're going to touch a lot of the things that are helping me scale my totems. But anyways, here's the thing. The reason I am playing, I guess what I want to say is the reason I am playing mana stacking Gemling, or I am not trying to play mana stacking Gemling, so I am playing totems. I chose to play Gemling because I wanted to make totems work. So if I am not going to play totems, then there's no point in me playing the mana stacking Gemling. Like that was the concept that made the build work that I wanted to make, not the other way around. I think I can even be nerfed at this point. They have to destroy Archmage. The thing about Archmage, and the reason I see Archmage as being as... The reason I went with Archmage, and just the reason Archmage is as strong as it is, pure, plain and simple. Archmage is currently acting as the biggest source of flat damage to skills, simply by virtue of how it works. There is no other source of consistent gain as damage. Like, it just doesn't exist. Dead. All right. Can you explain to me how I got frozen and this is full? Unless it wasn't full. I don't know. This sand spit is being a major pain. But like, those are the situations that recoup doesn't save you in. Cause like 6 seconds is still a long time. If I was a Chronomancer, recoup could potentially work, but then I wouldn't have the mana second elements to me. And honestly, we'll see. We'll see. What do I want to do? A part of me is just thinking, should I just hop on my Infernalist and go Demon Form again? Because like Demon Form has this build solved basically. Defenses are settled by ES. You don't have to do any weird defensive scaling. You don't need Everlasting Gaze. You just have the Demon Form. Just have Demon Form. I don't have to worry about mana regen. I don't have to worry about mana recoup. I don't have to worry about many things that I'm worrying about now with this version if I just went the Infernalist. Straight up, that character, I think I got it through campaign. So I don't have...
You got them both through campaign.
Yeah, I did. Okay. I'd have just played like part of Act 3 to show what it looks like. Actually, I still can. I can go back to Act 3 and just clear Doriani. But like, it's a very, very comfortable setup. I haven't done a single map on that character. But then this character has so much more to worry about because my mana is my life. So like, I'm worried about mana regen. I'm worried about this. I'm worried about that. Whereas I could just play Demon Form, go ES, profit. I have a level 32 Spark. I think my Dark Effigy is also level 32, ironically enough. So yeah, we have very similar levels of spells. Do I have the... You don't have this, of course, but I have the +3 level of Dark Effigy spell. Jewel, because Dark Effigy is non-meta. Anyways, I am thinking I'm glad you showed me that chess piece, because what I might end up doing, and this is not ideal, but what I might end up doing is I might go the chess piece, I might drop my mana recoup scaling, and I might just go as much mana as possible and try to get to like 6k 6500, just get as high as I can with mana. By the way, part of the reason I died there is I wasn't capped on code. I'm not capped on code rest currently, which I actually want to fix my resistances since I switched. But I've been switching my setup so much that that's why I'm not capped. Anyways, besides the point. How did you search Prism of Belief? Let me see if I still have the bookmark. Give me a second. Tell me I saved it. It's a Reddit post. It is not there. I can get it for you. Give me a second. There we go. I'll send the link, but the TLDR is there's a spreadsheet here that has the ID numbers. So you find the skill you want. I'll just show what Spark looks like. For example, Spark. So we see what Spark +1 is, we see +2, we see +3, so 78.5. So then we go to trade. I have a trade window here. I'll just pull there real quick. You know, since all the hacking started, I have refused to open trade from anywhere else than my already open trade windows. So then I go Prism of Belief. Actually, I don't need to type it there. I can just say, what was it, the line again? Hashtag to level of all hashtag skills. So that's what I do. Hashtag to level of all hashtag skills. And then in the minimum and maximum, I will put this value, 78.5. I don't remember if you can take a 0.5, but... And then what you're going to get these three. So Falling Thunder, Lightning Arrow, and Spark. So like Falling Thunder, Lightning Arrows, yada yada yada. And if you scroll down enough, Spark is an expensive one, like I said. So you're already in 300 Divine. So yeah. Now you see the Sparks: 298, 300, 300, Mirror. But yeah, that's how you search Prism of Beliefs. Yikes, yep. Let me bookmark this. Okay, because it's definitely useful. Yeah, done. All right. So what was I saying? Drop recoup, get to like 6k mana, have like 600 plus regen, probably slightly more than that. Maybe I'll still keep some recoup. Maybe I'll leave the 20% from here and leave the 20% from here. Just give like 40% recoup, so that there's something. But like, if I have 40% recoup and I take 3000 of that mana as damage very quickly, I'd be regening what, 1200, 1250 thereabouts mana per second extra. I feel like recoup has been acting weird though. No, it's over 6 seconds. Now that reminds me, it's over 6 seconds. So if it was, I mean, if it 1250 split across 6 seconds or 8 seconds, there's no point in going recoup unless you're really going recoup. Like genuinely, this isn't the point. Because like if I'm getting 1250-ish over 8 seconds, like that is almost less than 200 a second. That is less than 200 a second, I think. So like 3000 times 0.4. This is 1200. I was right by 1200, but this is the first one. Then 1200 divided by 8 seconds. 150 per second. And that is a hit that chunked me for half my life. Gaining 150 mana regen at that point would not be worth it. Because if it comes again, I would still not, you know. But in my current state, if I were to get to 6000 mana, then I'd be gaining 3000 from that one hit over 6 seconds. So that's 3000 over 6 seconds. I would gain 500 mana regen per second, which would be noticeable. It would make it so by the time another hit came in, I would probably be like, and this is added on top of my base on my mana regen. So at 600, that'd be like at 6000, like 600. So each second I'd then be gaining like 1100 mana, and you know, that's a lot of mana to gain. By the time I get hit again, this number goes up again. So then it's like 1600. But then I by this point I have time to react and do other things, and yada yada. And for the next 6 seconds, I would basically be very hard to kill. Is the idea here. This doesn't help me with one shot, it helps me with sustained damage. My problem with just going mana without being too high level, or without being too high of a mana count, this is my problem. If I do that, then say I have 6000 mana, I have 600 regen or 650 regen, right? If I get slapped by a monster and it does 2k damage, 3k damage, 4k damage, I have no way to recover that mana quickly before he hits me again. Now 600 base regen of, once you start getting the higher numbers, like if you're on 8000, then that would be like 800, 850, 900 mana regen. And then at that point, it is A, things are probably not living on your screen because you have that much damage, but B, you have so much base mana that your mana regen is to the point where you can actually sustain the slaps you were getting. Is like you can actually regen a fair amount, because like I think one of the bigger things is this flask does fuck all, and I can scale it to the point where it's doing like 1000 mana plus over 3 seconds. But like 1000 mana over 3 seconds is 1000 mana over 3 seconds. It's not going to save me when I'm getting hit for 3k, and that would take a fair bit of investment. What? Yeah, it would take me like speccing into mana recovery from flasks, going like this wheel over here, because like I was planning to go mana flasks at some point, then I decided against it. But like I'd have to take all of those things, and it's just not worth it. Alternatively, what we can also do, I guess, I can replace this ring. This ring is only giving me mana. I don't care for the cast speed. I can actually go a decent ring. That is one place I need to improve on my rings. This one is fine because it's my only source of rarity, but I also need to work on it eventually. Like the mana is not that great as you can see. Anyways, I'm digressing. Another big advantage of recoup, the way I have it, is it makes it so I can ignore small hits. I can take 500 damage per second and it doesn't matter because I'm regening a sixth of that every second, and it's adding up. And not only is it adding up, I also have like my base regen to counter those small hits. So like it ends up giving me a situation where small hits are very, very manageable. if I could get more than 100% damage taking recoup, then you know that would be nice. Let me pull up recoup on the wiki and just give it a chance. We have recoup as live. Oh shit! I didn't know this was a thing, but this is big. You remember how I was talking about an explode minion build with armor and life?
Mm-hmm.
There's a chess piece that has 50% of physical damage prevented is recouped as life. So if I stack enough mana with Hardbound Loop, and I go Chronomancer, I would have a shit ton of recoup. Or not Chronomancer, I plan on doing this on Gemling, but I would have a shit ton of recoup over 6 seconds potentially. And because I constantly have I'm constantly taking the damage or preventing the damage, I would have a lot of life always being recouped because the minions keep dying and I keep preventing a shit ton of damage, and as such I'd have insane regen. So basically, Arman, this is big, not for my current build, but I have a build idea that plays around with in exploding minions, and the reason it has to be Gemling is because I plan to go one temporary, one permanent set of minions, and they're always going to be dying, which means I'm going to be taking a shit ton of physical damage. So by having a source of recoup, the idea was by always taking damage, so long as it doesn't one-shot me, I'm always regenerating an insane amount of life, basically. And then I plan on scaling some armor to help reduce the damage I'm taking, because 300 phys damage is very easy to mitigate with armor. So you can bring it down to like 150. That was the idea. But if this says, because it's also physical damage, if this says the prevented one is recouped, then I could easily get it to where, and a worry I had, I should finish that. A worry I had was that I would prevent too much with armor, and then the recoup would be very meh. It would be negligible. But if this says 50% of what is prevented is recouped, then I don't have to worry about that. I can just prevent most of it, and then half of that would come to me as, you know, recovery. And I would always have that going, because with the setup I had in mind, the only problem is this takes my chess piece slot, so that would affect my permanent minions. That's the only problem. But anyways, to finish your thought, I would have permanent minions always dying. I'd always be taking the damage. That becomes recoup. I have SRS also dying, also being prevented, also becoming recoup. And suddenly you have a situation where over the course of 8 seconds, I am regenerating more life than they can take. Like, they just cannot do, unless they genuinely one-shot me, I'd be recovering a shit ton of life. Like, because imagine, I have 10 SRS I can summon at any point, and their job is to explode. That is 300 physical damage taken times 10. So that's 3,000 physical damage taken in 10 small hits, right? So because it's 10 small hits, it's easier to mitigate by armor. Now, let's say I mitigate 90%, which is the cap. That means I only take 30 damage. Now, out of that, so that's 270-ish, 2,700 I would prevent. Half of that is what? 1350, give or take. 1350. That's 1350 life from just 2 casts of Flame Wall. 1350 life being split across 8 seconds. So that would then be 1350 over 8. So that's 168. And then if I do another 2, it's going to stack up. And whatever damage I do take is also being recouped. So that's kind of the idea. I don't know how feasible it is. But if I'm genuinely blocking 90% of the damage, that chess piece will help. But if I'm taking, if I decide, okay, I'm only going to block half of that, and I then recoup the remaining 150, because you can have over one You can have over 100% damage taken recouped as life. Like I think you're gonna get up to like 120, 140 something. You can get really high with that one. Over 6, and you can of course reduce it to 6 seconds. This is without reducing it. What is with reducing it? Divided by 6. 225. Good, like I said, very good regen. And all of this is minions that are just constantly going out, dying. Even your permanent ones, because you can easily have over 20. Well, as a Gemling, not maybe over 20, but you can have like 10 to 15 permanents that are spawn, dying. And the respawn time will be like, oh wait, I forgot part of the calculation, because you can have 2 of these rings. So instead of 2700, it should be 2700 times 2 divided. So this is divided by 0.5. Oh no, times 0.5. 5400 times 0.5. So then that's 2700 prevented, and then this is what you recoup, or no, this is what is recouped divided by 6. So it's actually 450 per wave of SRS. And then with your permanent minions as well, you know, that also joins into the equation, because they will spawn every, let's say, 3 seconds. Every 3 seconds they spawn, then they die. 3 seconds spawn, then they die. Spawn, die, spawn, die, spawn, die. So every 3 seconds you would then gain another, let's say, 200 life regen-ish. So you'd easily end up with like over 1,000 life coming into, like, regening every second, or recovering every second, I should say. First Citadel, congratulations. Which is it? I'm guessing Iron Citadel, because that's one I've been finding. I have 3 Citadels found. By the way, Arcane, I don't know if you were here when I found it. I found a Citadel yesterday in the direction I thought it would be, based on the video.
Oh, Exile?
Yeah.
Well, I went the way you wanted me to go and didn't get any.
Let me see.
I got a dead end finally. I don't have it here, sadly, but also I just did the league mechanic and I actually got it. And
Iron, I'll get someone to carry it. I ain't wasting that.
Yeah.
It's a risk for you.
If we live in now. There is for most people, buddy.
I mean, I just ran mine, and but that was on minions using ES. It's a very strong build. Like as you might notice, I haven't run any Citadels on this character, and I don't plan on doing it anytime soon. What is? Let me see these passives. So we know what pliable flesh is. What is loose flesh? Early damage recouped as life. Oh, and this is taut flesh. Yes. Basically flesh. There's supposed to be an infused flesh. Regenerative flesh. There is infused flesh. What about mine? I mean, Mind Eraser wouldn't show here. Isn't that you? No, that's adverse growth. Adverse growth isn't there. Why is it not there? This is glazed flesh. Also not in the wiki.
Check to hear my thoughts on the seasonal mechanic.
Oh, that's open mind. I was gonna say something. Sturdy mind. I'm looking for Mind Eraser. What'd you say?
Just want to hear my thoughts on the seasonal mechanic.
You said you don't know how you feel about it yet because of how seasonal.
I just did it for like the last 25 minutes. I just did it.
Your thoughts?
And you know how the last one was kind of a chore with how good it was because it was just a must pick, but fundamentally it was a really good like mechanic, just like the way it worked, the way it challenged you and stuff like that, like at its core.
Okay.
Do you agree that that's what that it was?
I don't think it really challenged you at its core. If I had to objectively look at last league's mechanic outside the burnout, It was a decent mechanic. There were lots of things that were too awkward for it that I think were just badly done. For example, I don't know why the things you were getting for your league mechanic are locked for accounts, as an example. I don't like that it takes so long to set up a board. I didn't like that the boards, the things you are, the effects you were going to get, the effects you are going to get were not always the most obvious from reading what they were supposed to do. And whilst there was some dopamine to be found in the occasional getting like really a large amount of like tier 7 paints, overall I think you had zero agency in playing the league mechanic as much or as little as you want. It's a league mechanic you couldn't spam, so if you really liked it, you still had to map. You couldn't buy.
I mean, this one is still similar to that. You can't really spam it because you need to, do a certain number of things in map to do it.
Okay.
It's also kind of a board game too, but it's a different one. It doesn't feel similar at all. It feels unique.
Okay.
It felt nice to figure it out. I've actually never like first figured out a mechanic before in this game. I like just wait for a video to come out and ignore it and just do like just try to make money. But I got this one just by engaging with it, and that felt kind of good.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to my TED talk.
So what do you think about it?
I liked it. I'm curious. I can see how it'll be a lot more rewarding as you go on. I don't know how I feel
Iron
about
Citadel with this.
the ladies are out. I don't know if you've seen, but
Wait, give me a second. This is not bad. Do you think you can find an 800% Waystone drop chance map? I don't know if we can just drop a map can just drop. I think an 8 mod might be able to drop 800, but there are certain breakpoints to have multiple full suffix map. Yeah, okay, so few things that I know help with it. If you haven't already, take this node. If you can enhance those suffixes, you will get over the 800% mark, and that will give you an extra fragment. So this, if you'd have to get lucky, of course, because it's 50-50 ball. You just hope you get lucky. Then, other than that, you just go increase effects of your explicit modifiers. Assuming you can handle it. I'm scared of breaking it. Let me see what mods it has. Minus 10% max player res is rough, as well as shocked ground. If your carry is gonna die, I mean, if you're scared you will break it, then play it safe. It's better to get, because like you're on 300%, well, you're at the 3/400% breakpoint without this guy, so you're looking at 2 fragments, I think. If you get over 800, that's a third fragment. So if you think your carry is going to be able to handle it, which I would hope you find someone who would be able to carry it, then you want to give them this so that you get the third fragment. But that is, again, if you can handle the map itself, because I'm sure there are builds out there that, I mean, they just blink and the boss is dead. They don't have to actually engage with the fight. So if I'm sure some of these people are also given carries, so like I would recommend something like that. Do the juice, get over 800 potentially, and from there just hope you get lucky, or from there find the right person, I mean, and hope you get lucky with this guy so you get the extra fragments. if you go all the explicit modifier nodes, I think you might be able to squeeze it. Like if for some reason you're able to get to 1200, I think that is the fourth fragment's breakpoint. So my understanding is it's every 200, but I think 300 might also be able to drop it. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like I remember Gazi testing this and 300 could drop too. If I could use a shield, this shield would be so good. Damage blocked is recouped as mana. That would have been so nice. But it's not possible. So, oh well. These are all the recoup related uniques that are in the wiki. I'm sure there's more that just haven't been set there. So I'm just going to come here and put recoup. Okay, so there aren't any more recoup related uniques that have like cool interactions or anything. Pliable flesh is also a way to make it better, or a way to make you feel better. Okay, let's look for the chess piece on trade first and foremost. Then we'll go from there. Morior Invictus. Per socketed. So it's 2 divines with the mana already in there. It has 158-ish, 156-ish ES. I would also be losing the mana regen from here. The lightning res I can find, I can replace it here or something. Like I can find other sources for it. I'm not too bothered about that. I should also find intelligence on my rings. I don't have intelligence here. Intelligence, mana regen are the 2, and max mana are the 3 modifiers I care about on rings. I should stop caring about cast speed. I don't care too much for it. I already gained cast speed on the 3. That's enough. And of course, rarity. Rarity is always nice. Arman, are you in your map yet? Okay, good luck. Have you found one? Let's just dump these guys in there. So I have 2 divines to work with. If I am able to get like 30 ints on each ring, that's about 120 mana. 240. That pushes me over the 4k edge. That will help me in my current form with my recoup. I want to try my best to make recoup work. But that said, I do think there is a chance I replace my chest with the unique you suggested. It just means I would need to get 1 res and then mana regen, intelligence on both rings, as well as a high amount of mana, which means that's going to be expensive. And I also need to replace these guys because these guys are not helping me. This one doesn't even have intelligence. That's how bad it is. My boots are egregious. No, they're actually bad. Let's buy better boots right now before I change my mind. Modifiers, int boots, because I'm trolling with my current boots. 716% on map. So close yet so far. 30% movement. Then we do weighted some. We're going to go max mana. We're going intelligence. We're going fire res. We're going lightning res. Going cold res. Am I forgetting any stats? I guess rarity is also a stat, but I'm not too worried about that one. We're going 100. So then the weights are going to be 10, 10,